episode 84. Hello everyone and welcome to Wolff&Schafe podcast. My name is Magdalena and this little guy Domarat likes to hang around when I'm podcasting usually. We have a Tuesday today, March 27th, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and deciding to spend some of your day with me. And if you're a new viewer, this is a podcast mostly about knitting and various crafts that occupy my my interest at the moment. So today it will be mostly knitting, yarn buying at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and also some paintings that I completed, watercolor paintings that I recently completed. So yeah, I will be also talking about my and my family's trip to Bormio in Italy. If you're interested, please stick around till the end. I will be chatting about it and there will be some video and photo footage as well. So first let's start with wonderful news. The wonderful and very generous Ellie of Skandir Knit. She designed a collection of colorwork socks and she so kindly offered this bundle for a giveaway on our podcast. So yay! It's awesome. Thank you so much, Ellie. It's so great of you. Thank you. And yeah, the collection is called Sokkelester. Hope I pronounced this okay. And as I said, it's 6 patterns. And let me read to you the description of it because it's very exciting. All 6 of these designs are written to be made both toe up and cuff down. Brilliant. Because often I think about knitting a pattern of socks and then I see it's only cuff down and then I would have to do all the working, like thinking how to make it work, toe up because I prefer toe up, and here it's done for ya. So awesome. All are made with a German short rose heel and are based on traditional Scandinavian colorwork charts that are easily memorable. The aim of this collection is to offer a bundle of sock patterns suited to beginners at colorwork socks, as these are quick, oh so quick, and easy to make. So gorgeous, wonderful. And so to enter for the giveaway, I suggest you hop on to Wolff&Schafe Ravelry group. I have created thread there. Then please tell me what is your favorite yarn and post a picture of a project that you made with it or are making at the moment with it. I'd love to see it. I will be honest, I did a little bit of copying from Grace, Babel's Traveling Yarns podcast. I think she asked, what is your favorite project you've ever knitted or something like that, and then she told us that it's so much fun scrolling through all those beautiful projects. So I thought I also want to scroll through some beautiful projects. So yeah, that's the prompt, and I think I will pull the winner for this after Easter, a few days after Easter, so that everyone who's celebrating Easter can calm down. I will also have visitors. My family is coming, so it will be a bit crazy around here. So yeah, it will be something like a week and a half. So this is this, and now I will talk about my projects. So I will first talk about the projects and then the haul from Edinburgh Yarn Festival 2018. So actually, I'm loving my spike, guys. Actually, I am really loving it. Even though, as I explained in the previous episode, it's not perfect, but It's so comfy. It's so comfy, and I'm just all the time doing this or this because the yarn is so nice to the touch, and it's airy, so it's perfect for this springtime weather that is transferring from very cold to maybe warm. So yeah, my spike is lovely, and again, I will say it again, I really like how the body turned out with those X's. And this too, I like this too. So yeah, even though my sweater is not perfect, I'm still loving it, and I will be wearing it and enjoying it. Next, what do I have here? I've got my socks. So as I mentioned in the last episode, these are my EYF socks because I cast them on in the train to the airport on my way to the festival. But now these are more like my Harry Potter socks, because recently Gleb expressed the need to rewatch all the Harry Potter movies, and I of course said yay! so we're watching in the evenings, and yeah, they are growing. I think my camera is probably better this week, because last week I was just using my phone. So yeah, this is Knitting Goddess. Where is the tag? It's Knitting Goddess. It's 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, and the wool is 45% British BFL and 30% mixed British wool. And it has, it is a little bit has this a little bit rustic touch to it, but I believe it will be pretty sturdy. This is how it looks in the cake. Isn't this just gorgeous? And the colorway is Octarine. So yeah. And I'm knitting as usual 2 at a time, 2.5mm needles, haya sharp, and it's US size 1.5. So yeah, and the number of stitches, this will be socks for me, and I'm knitting 56 stitches. And toe up, as I always say. Toe up, and I will make, as usual, fish lips kiss heel. Hope I'm not blurry. Oh, time for a sip of tea. Today, one of my favorite black teas. It's nothing really complicated. It's Lipton tea, but it's Lipton vanilla caramel, and it's just, not only it tastes divine, it smells like heaven. So yeah, whenever I'm in a bigger store, because in our town it rarely appears, so when I am in Zurich, then I go and buy myself like three boxes of it, just because I enjoy it so much. And then I have my project. It hasn't made an appearance for quite a while, but yeah, the rows are very long, so even though I'm working on it, the progress doesn't show. Actually, I am at the 70% of the pattern, because the pattern tells you how many percent you're at, and I find it brilliant. So it's a Fairy Hill Shawl by Helen Stewart, and of course I'm mid-row. Sorry, it would be better if I remembered to finish a row before I started podcasting, but yeah, what can you do? Come back yarn, honestly. Everything got tangled. And even more tangled. Okay, what else? So this is beautiful yarn by Kristen from Wolff&Schafe Yarns. It's on her Wilderness base, which is with mohair, and the colorway is Fig Bash. And it's, yeah, it has beautiful speckles. And the contrasting color is a solid colorway. It's Eden Cottage Yarns in Titus for ply, so it's merino with silk. And the colorway is Algae. It's so delicious, yum yum yum. And I think they play together just perfectly. And yeah, this second part of the lace is really lacy. This is my marker, so this is the last that I showed you. I was here and I tried to knit, actually I tried to knit in the car when we were going back from our holidays, because when I was going there I was finishing my the sleeve of my spike, and when we were going back, because I finished the spike while in Italy and blocked it in a hotel room, which I mentioned last time. But anyway, I was trying to knit on this, but honestly, the first part of the trip, of the road was in the mountains, so it was like whoo, 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 and I really felt sick, so I couldn't knit. And later we decided to watch an animation movie on Gleb's iPad. I mean, Gleb was driving, but I was holding the iPad and like watching like this with my son behind me, and we watched the Totoro movie by Ghibli. So it was fun, you guys. I really like Ghibli's movies, and Totoro is one of my favorites, so I was very excited that Stasio could, you know, watch it and we could talk about it. It was great. But anyway, I did not knit in the end. So the rows are pretty long right now. I can tell you, because also the pattern tells you that. The pattern tells you that I have 339 stitches, and it's lace. So yeah, it's I'm slowly getting there. And oh yeah, and I'm knitting on. Yeah, it lives in this beautiful bag. I'm knitting on my Carbons Interchangeable in the US size 6, which is 4mm needles. And lastly, there's a new cast on. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have glimpsed it, because I posted a picture as soon as I cast on. Yum. So it's a pattern that I actually made a giveaway last episode. A giveaway off last episode, and I can't put my hand completely inside because the thumb is not done. But I find this pattern really beautiful. Look at that. So it's Something Wicked Mitts by the most wonderful Kristen Lehrer of Wolff&Schafe Yarns and Yarngasm Podcast. Is it focused? I think now it is. Look at that. Look at that cable. It's pretty. And then yeah, I need to do the thumb. And it's a really quick knit, because I did that in one afternoon, I think. And yeah, I'm knitting. Where is it? I'm knitting. So for the ribbing, I used these. Magic looping, obviously. These are Haya Sharps in 3mm size, excuse me, US size 2.5. And then I switched to Chow Goose. They're so cool, because I have Chow Goose for my socks, and they are like obviously smaller needles, but they don't have this band here. It's intriguing. Possibly it's supposed to help your wrists. But anyway, these are 3.5 US size 4. And the yarn, it's yarn that I've been having various plans for. At first I wanted to knit a hat with it, but then I frogged it because somehow I did not like it. I think the mistake was with, by the way, this is the yarn. The mistake was that I was knitting on wooden needles, because I wanted to knit the hat on my like short circular needles, and they were wooden, and this is yarn with some silk in it, I believe, so it was just it didn't go smoothly. And anyway, I hate wooden needles. I won't pretend. So yeah, this is the yarn by CD Spind, who's Asita Krebs, and the colorway is Winterrosen, so winter roses, and it's hand-dyed blue-faced Leicester, silk and cashmere. So 70% BFL, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. It's very luxurious yarn in DK weight, and it's actually, I think it's not 100 grams, it's like 115 grams, something like that. It's just such a gorgeous yarn. I love these purples, and it knits up like that, as I mentioned before. So it will be pretty. And I have a shawl that is also hand-dyed in Switzerland by Siedegarte, and it has the same name. It's also, I think, no, similar name. Some other type of roses, but in Swiss German terminology, and it's a very similar colorway. Maybe I should actually bring it and show to you. I was just wearing it today with my Zweig. This is the shawl. I will just keep it here. This is the shawl I knit at the beginning of my knitting journey, actually, when I rediscovered knitting in 2013, I think. And it's the Ginkgo shawl, so it's a free pattern. And as I said, it matches pretty well. So I think I will just have a set with the mittens. And also it's very soft. It's also with silk, so it matches perfectly. Okay, and yeah, this is it for my knitting this week. And I will also show you some paintings that I completed, because around 21st of March, well, on 21st of March, but I couldn't do that because I was in Italy, so we did it later. But in Poland there is this tradition of drowning Marzanna effigy. So it's, well, it mostly symbolizes winter that goes away and makes space for spring. So an effigy, well, mostly children at schools do that. Or kindergartens maybe even, they create this effigy and then they put it into water. And it of course is a very old tradition that comes from probably pagan times. So I painted a goddess Marzanna because I'm painting a series of Slavic, well, basically Polish gods. So this is her, and she's going back to the waters, because she's a kind of a winter and aquatic goddess in this regard, and she's leaving behind the primroses that start spring. So that is her. And now I'm working on another picture that will be like an Easter card. I hope I will manage to finish it till Easter, to be honest. But yeah, it's a couple of gods, and there is a painted egg on the sky in place of the sun, which I find very cool. and I put some like very traditional patterns that Polish people still use to this day on painted eggs. And yeah, I need to finish the horsey. And then these are willow branches with those fluffs. I don't know what you call them, but you see there is this gray here. It's actually masking fluid that I will remove once I'm done with everything, so that they can pop like very white. This is the same what I did with the egg here. I painted this pattern with masking fluid. So yeah, yoo-hoo! These are my paintings, and now finally we can start with the haul from EYF. Alright, so. Oh, by the way, now this project, the mitts by Kristen, are again living in in a bag that she made for me, which is awesome. And also, just to tell you, she was actually so kind that she gifted me this pattern as soon as she released it. So, thank you. I can't wait to finish those mitts. It's getting warm, but sometimes it's still a bit chilly. So even if I don't wear them this early spring, in a couple of months it will be cold again. So let's not worry. Okay, how do I proceed with the haul? Maybe first I will show you some little cute gifts that I got. And it's just a disclaimer again, those people were not like standing there and breaking rules of the festival by just giving away their things. It was just, oh, I chatted with someone and it was very nice, so we exchanged gifts. That's mostly how it was. So it was just friendly exchange, not breaking the rules of the festival. So yeah, for example, I got this cute skein. I mentioned her, I think, in the last episode. It's a dyer behind Dottir Dye Works from Iceland, Salome, and the colorway is rustic, and it's so beautiful. Couldn't resist. Yeah, because she let me choose from various colorways, and I was like, mine, it's mine. And yeah, it's a sock yarn, 75% merino, 25% nylon, 85 meters, 20 grams, and online shop to be open in 2018. So looking forward to that. And her friend, I also talked about in the last episode. Finally, I can show this to you. Was Eidur Björnskuladottir. And yeah, she wrote this wonderful book, first in Icelandic, then it got translated into English, and it's something great. It is, as I said, a guide to the Icelandic traditional wool sweater, and she explained to us that, yeah, that's exactly what it says here, but you get all those charts here that let you, create your own compositions of color, and it gives you measurements, and it's for sizes from XS to XXL. And it's just amazing. If I only had enough courage to start with it, I would. But first, I think I will try to knit from a pattern, like, yeah, from a regular pattern, some color work sweaters, and then advance to it, to like creating my own. This you also get here in color the color chart of Let Lopi yarn, and yeah, it was great to get this book. Whoa, whoa, whoa! She also gifted me this lovely cable square blanket pattern, and yeah, there are some instructions here. And what else? What else? What now? So yeah, anyway, she was super nice, and it was great chatting with you ladies. I hope to see you around somewhere again. I also got this cute little package. It's Holland Handmade Co. handcrafted in the USA, and there's really tiny mini skein, and there's candy and a little stitch marker and another candy and some tea, so it's gorgeous. Then I got this pink thing. Yeah, keep calm and carry yarn. Absolutely. And there are also some chocolates and a button. So yeah, it's from Vivian and Allison. And then I also got to hang out with really wonderful people. And Amy from Stranded Dye Works gifted me with this wonderful blue skein. I love blue. So yeah, it's called Oasis, and it's very nice. So I got some mini skeins. I'm thinking, should I add them to my blanket? Because they would look great. My blanket has a lot of blues in it, so this would match perfectly, and this would also look nice. And finally, I got this from Kristen. Oh my god! So yeah, it's Wool & Vine Yarns Footsie in a macaron colorway, and it's her Strange Brew, so one of a kind, and it's just beautiful. You might not be able to tell, but maybe you are. It's very pale mauve with speckles, delicious speckles. Look at that, look at that. So it's 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon fingering weight. Beautiful. And now what I bought. So where do I start? Maybe I will finish with minis. So I went over to Martin's lab to chat a bit with Justina, who's Martin's wife, of course, and the famous designer behind Lettuce Knits. So I wanted to talk to her, and then of course I already did some damage. I mean, I had a lot of yarn bought, but I wanted something, you know, like souvenir. So I bought these two skeins, and they are Tough Sock Mini. This is Tough Sock Mini, and this is Mini Single. So these are different bases. This is like sock yarn, so merino with nylon, and this is 100% merino single, of course. So this, whoa. Colorway is called Inferno, and as you see, it's a madness of colors over here. So yeah, I'm again thinking about my blanket with these. This is single, so in the blanket it won't make any difference if it's single. This is single, that is something else. This is plied. It's just my blanket, and colorway is prismatic. So it's those greens with purples and some blue speckles. Yeah, they look really fun. And this is his logo. Yes, and next up I found a booth with yarn that I did not know from before, and it's called Cosmic Strings. And look at that! Just look at that! Just look at, oh, it's so soft. It's soft, and it's sock yarn. Both skeins are sock yarn, and it's actually hand dyed in Edinburgh, you guys. It is. So it was a very locally dyed yarn, and it's 75% superwash merino with 25% nylon, and the colorway is bluebell, and I could eat this yarn. And what I love is that, okay, we have those purples and some blues, okay, and then we get this green, this mossy, deep mossy green. Yum, yum. Again, I feel like eating yarn today. Isn't that strange? So on the same base, I also chose this yarn. And I'm not sure if I would use it for socks. I could, of course, because it's with nylon, but I'm not sure if I would like necessarily socks made out of this. Maybe a shawl or something, like for a contrasting color or something like that. And the colorway is called Anita. And it's, yeah, it's somehow captivated me. It has those like sand colors and really dark navy blue and some speckles here. Speckles. So yeah, it's very nice and soft and gorgeous. Then maybe I should present the yarn that I almost lost. Because as I said before, I believe on Friday I left a bag with yarn at the festival, so it was a bit stressful, but in the end I got it back. So I bought 3 skeins of fiber spades, vivacious 4-ply, and I think this year it was very much about the purples. It was just purples or mauves. So I fall very easily for purples because I love purple really a lot. I also love teal, but yeah, this year it was purples, and I bought this, just a minute, in the colorway Tweed Imps. And it's 100% superwash merino, very squishy. And do they give you meters actually? Where are the meters? Okay, 365 meters, 399 yards per 100 grams. So I got 2 in the same dye lot. So I'm thinking something like a sweater, or maybe a cardigan with a contrasting color. I think they would look gorgeous together. So it's the same base and the colorway is heavenly, of course. So it's very, very pale purple lavender with some warmer purples and some more bluish purples. So yeah, again, I think it would create a lovely garment. And next up, I think it was the last thing I bought at the festival. I just was browsing. It was almost the end of my shopping at the festival, and I just saw this. And I couldn't resist. I have no idea what I will do with it, but surely I could make a hat since it's a DK weight, so one skein should be completely enough. And it's string theory in Didgeridoo colorway. So yes, I believe it's 100% superwash merino. Very squishy, but I mean the colors. Look at them. Look at the colors. Oh, it screams me, me, take me home. So I did. So I did, you guys. And then I visited. I mean, I'm not doing this exactly chronologically, so then it's not chronological in this example, but anyway, in this instance. But yeah, I visited Queen of Pearls booth, and I was actually wearing my Asagi top by Bristol Ivy, made from Queen of Pearls yarn, and she was very delighted. I said about it before, but of course it was not only chatting for me, because as I already used some hand-dyed yarn, I already used some of her yarn, which is of course hand-dyed. I have some problems again today with talking. Anyhow, I went away from her booth with these. And they might be more blue on the screen than they are in real life, but they are really dark purple, and they are yummy. These are again fingering weight, and the base is Citadel sock. It's superwash blue-faced Leicester in the colorway Whale of a Time. So yeah, it's 400 meters. So I thought these two, and plus something else from my stash that I already probably have, and another sweater could be born. And yeah, I love it. It's a different base that I bought previously. Previously I bought merino base. I believe it's Ballista. But yeah, this time I will try the VFL. So yeah, that's that. And lastly, because you know, I just knitted with Old Maiden on sparkly base, so of course some space in my stash was made for a new one. So yeah, this is Old Maiden Aunt and her merino nylon stellina base, and the colorway is Delicate Flower. I stood for quite a while at her booth, and I couldn't decide which skein I wanted. So yeah, but it was worth it. I'm so in love with this skein, you guys. It just, again, yum, yum. I want to eat it. And yeah, I could use it for socks, but I could also use it for something like this, for a sweater. Because why not have a sweater that sparkles? I don't know why. I see no reasons not to have one. So yeah, this is my last one. My last part of the haul. I hope you've enjoyed. I know I did. Enjoy myself. And yeah, you can see how many purples I got. It's all like purple. Well, this is kind of purple, and it also has some purple. It's mostly blue, but with brown and teal. It's anyway. This is it for yarn this week, and now I would like to talk a little bit about our Bormio trip. So the thing was that the Bormio trip has been planned for quite a while already, and we had hotel booked and everything, because we were our plans was to drive from Zurich to Bormio, because it's not that far away. It's like 4.5 hours drive, and my parents and my sister were flying together from Warsaw to Bergamo, and then they rented a car and they drove to Bormio. That was how it was done. Also last year, the same. And then I realized that the EYF weekend is the same weekend when we are supposed to go there. So my parents and sister were arriving on Sunday, and I was arriving from Edinburgh to back home, to Zurich. So I said, we can't do that, let's just go the next day. And it was a smart move because yeah, it would be very hard to make it. But also I was pretty exhausted after the festival and all the packing and everything. It was crazy, and our son running around like crazy, not allowing us to focus on packing. So in the end, Gleb forgot all of his snowboarding gear. I mean, he doesn't own a snowboard, he's always renting, but his shoes, his trousers, his jacket, well, basically everything that he packed to a bag was that one. It was in that one bag that we left behind. So he was pretty pissed off. But he went to a store. It's the end of the season, so there were some sales going on. And I gotta tell you, it's great. It's great that he forgot it, because when he went out of the shop, he looked awesome. Really new clothes in pretty shapes and colors. I was so delighted. I mean, everybody was. So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then my parents and sister were skiing, and Gleb was snowboarding. Stasio actually had classes, like 1 hour long class per day to learn how to ski, and I was just chilling. When they were not around, and it was not that such a long time, because Stasio was, you know, he was already tired after a short time, so I did not have that much free time, to be honest, but I just wanted to relax after the festival. And also once we went to a swimming pool, because there are those hot baths there, and yeah, it was good. And I also, as I said, I blocked my spike there. It's so airy, you know, that it was dry in one night, basically. I had to hide it under a spare bed, because otherwise somebody would you know, step all over it. So yeah, that's where it was, hidden, and now it's okay. And what else? Oh, I went to the old town, because the town itself, Bormio, is pretty old. I think at least from 11th century, maybe older, not sure. And I stumbled upon a beautiful place. There is this little building, you know, in Middle Ages, churches were, in early Middle Ages, churches weren't too big. They were pretty small and humble. But so the building itself doesn't like draw your attention to it. But I walked by and I saw the door open. So I came in and my jaw just did this. Boom! It hit the floor, because all of the walls and the ceiling were covered with beautiful frescoes. Some of them were, of course, not really well preserved. through all of those centuries. I think they were refreshed recently, but anyway, some of the pictures are simply missing. But other than that, it's just, I was stunned. I was not expecting it in the first place, so it was beautiful. I will show you, I made a video with the fresco, so you will be able to see it too. And it was completely worth it to go and see it. I also went to a yarn store because my mom saw a yarn store and she told me, oh, I saw this yarn store. And it seems they have local wool and it might be interesting for you. So the next day I ran there and it turned out that my mom did not see it properly, I think. It was kind of a regular yarn store. They did have some hand-dyed yarn, but it was, well, first of all, they had only really few colorways. They were solids and they were completely not me. Second of all, they only gave you the weight, how much a skein weighs. It was 100, these were 100 grams skeins, but no yardage or how many meters or what needles to use or just any information. And it also cost 19 euros per skein, so I thought, even as a souvenir, I don't want to pay that much for a yarn that I'm not likely to enjoy, so I bought nothing. Also most of the yarn was behind the counter, and the lady there, she wasn't really willing to let me near the yarn. She wanted to pass it through the counter to me, and I got annoyed by that because I didn't have the patience for that. When I want to browse yarn, I want to browse yarn myself, not to, maybe that one. So yeah, but other than that, thanks to going to that yarn store, I found a beautiful church, so I don't regret going at all. And what else? Yeah, this is all about Bormio. I will put some videos and pictures at the end of the episode. And other than that, Easter is near. Easter is a big deal for Polish people. So my parents and my sister are visiting again. They were not planning to do that because it's kind of ridiculous to be in one place together in Italy and then meet in 5 days. It's just... But then my mom got crazy. There were some sales, massive sales on the flights, and they are coming. So, so yeah. Oh yeah, we planted, Stasia and me, we planted some seeds. What's it called? I even checked it. Oh, it's called cress, Polish, rzeżucha, and Stasia is really impatiently waiting for it to grow. So it already let the saplings are going out of the seeds, and he's very excited about that. It's a thing we used to do at home. So we prepare it for Easter. So then we can put the lamb on the grass. So that's for that. Tomorrow there will be great grocery shopping because Stasia's kindergarten will be closed from Thursday, and Gleb is working on Thursday, so I will be with Stasia, so it won't be too easy to do the shopping anyway. So I'm planning to do that tomorrow, and then also cleaning and baking and cooking. And of course egg painting. Eggs are very important for Easter to us. And also my sister is planning to make a carrot cake, so I need to buy her carrots, of course. And I will be baking what I do always for Easter. It's almond and lemon pie. I call it pie, but in Polish it's mazurek, and it's basically a kind of a pastry that we make only for Easter. So I make it once a year, and it's delicious. And yeah, and eating loads of eggs in every possible dish will be a thing, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to post in the Ravelry thread for Ellie's wonderful socks. And we wish you happy knitting, and see you next time. Yeah. Bye! I am in the gondola, and the view is just wonderful. It's a bit noisy, probably the camera. Oh, I just passed the pole here, but yeah, look at that! Look at that! There's the city of Bormio down there, or a town, not sure. And yeah, beautiful. The windows are a bit scratched. I mean, they have lines all over them, but you can see what's outside.